Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Bob Berry ruled Milwaukee's airwaves in the 60s and 70s. He spoke with countless musicians and celebrities over the years. Bob collected remarkable recordings of these encounters, which he's now sharing with the public. Here's Bob.
He was a teenage idol here in Milwaukee and around the world in the 60s and early 70s. In fact, the screaming of the young women in the audience caused him to lose some of his hearing. He was a star on Shindig and Here Comes the Bride's TV shows. Bobby Sherman received more fan mail than any other entertainer on ABC TV. He had 7 top 40 hits, 7 gold singles, and 5 gold albums. His hit, Little Woman, became a million seller. He had many other hits, including Julie, You Love Me, and Easy Come, Easy Go. He was my guest on Bob Berry Calls the World several times, and here's a sample.
How did you land that big spot on the Shindig show?
Oh, through a chain of events. Natalie Wood, Jane Fonda, and Sal Mineo saw me singing at this party that, in fact, I was invited to a party by this girl who was invited by Sal Mineo, that he was throwing a party for the cast for The Greatest Story Ever Told. And Natalie and Jane and Sal were there and saw me sing and came up to me later. Asked me if I was being managed, and I said no, and they said, we'd like to manage you and see if we can get you going. And I thought, wow, that's out of sight, but I couldn't really see myself getting cut up 3 ways, so I told them so, and I think they kind of respected me for telling them that. And as it turned out, they gave me the right contacts and necessary contacts for recording a record for a recording company at the time, which I did. And the agency that took me over through another contact through Sal led me to go to the audition for the Shindig show, which was just getting underway, and they were auditioning thousands of kids. And I met Jack Good and Rita Gillespie, who was the director then, and the top brass, Art Stolnitz, Leon Morel, Selig Seligman. And I did an audition with the record I just recorded. In fact, if it wasn't for that record I just recorded, I probably would have had a lot of trouble doing an audition at all. So I did an audition with the recording, and it was about an hour later they came back and said, hey, we'd like to have you for 28 shows. And it was just sort of there. But again, going back through the vine, you might say, if it hadn't been for the 3 people that I just named, I don't think I would have been able to eventually meet the people for the Shindig show.
What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of being popular? This is a question the teens always ask.
You want to get arrested, don't you? Wow. Well, the advantages of being successful. First of all, I feel successful in the sense that I'm not satisfied. I do want to go on to other things. I want to get a really good solid hit. I want to go into the acting as I have been, and of course the new show will help me out in that sense. I think the advantages I've had is that I've been able to meet people. I've had the opportunity to be sent to different cities and to meet the kids and the people that I'm actually working with as far as the same business is concerned, but really don't have a chance to actually talk to until I go to that particular city or cities. So that's an advantage, because this way I think I come out ahead because I like people, and this is my big chance to do a little bit, if I can, for the people that do a lot for me, and this including fans as well as people in the business. And I think the disadvantage is just lack of sleep.
What type of songs do you prefer singing? The rock songs or ballads?
A little bit of both, as a matter of fact. I think the rock I enjoy more, because I kind of like, just it gets in my blood after a while, and I really enjoy them. But the ballads, I think that they're a change of pace, and they're kind of a way of sitting back and saying, well, he can be serious if he wants to, as far as entertainment is concerned. As far as singing ballads, it relaxes me. I like to sing ballads. It gives me a breather, so to speak, as well as I do enjoy them very much for musical content. And like Yesterday, for instance, is a tremendous song. And a song like this, I think, is something that just is not an effort to sing. It really is fun. I mean, you can enjoy it and really take the whole meaning of the song and let it do something for you. as well as your audience.
What advice would you offer to guys and gals who are really interested in singing career?
Perseverance, just determination, and I think that, of course, I wasn't working towards a business that hard or that much longer than a lot of people that have really tried and with a lot of talent. I must say that I'm very, very lucky. Of course, I was in L.A. to begin with, and that was kind of like centralized as far as where the business in the way of records and motion pictures and television is. If you just have enough drive behind and confidence in what you believe in as far as your talent or what you have to offer, whether it be singing or tumbling or whatever the case, if you have enough drive and you believe in it and you enjoy it, then nothing should stop you. Just you'll have a lot of depressions and disappointments, but you have to utilize those and let them work for you rather than against you. And there's, of course, you'll always be hit with a lot of people with the old cliches, it's always darkest before the dawn and things like this. But it never really has much meaning until something good happens, and then everything seems sort of to make sense, and it was all worthwhile. But it never seems like it when you're in the middle of a depression or something, but you just have to kind of bite your lip and keep going and just never stop. And they always say practice. Well, that's very true, but you just can't get ahead just by practicing. You have to practice as well as get out and meet people and try to understand the business. I think you have to try to get a business mind as well as talent, because this way you might get a break here and there, but not really know how to utilize it. So not that I have that much of a business mind, but I just was very lucky in timing. I think timing is a very important thing also. And just keep pitching, and you never know when the break will come, and when it does, an opportunity does knock, you're prepared for it as long as you are confident in what you're doing, and keep working.
The magazines, once in a while I mention, ask you if you have any advice for teens, just general advice. Do you have anything in mind?
Quit drinking, kids.
Easy come, easy go. I'm sitting it out. I'm spinning it out.
Bob Berry.
Thank you for listening to Bob Berry's Unearthed Interviews. Be sure to subscribe and rate our podcast on iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts. You can find all the episodes at WisconsinBroadcastingMuseum.org. Check out Bob Berry's book, Rock and Roll Radio Milwaukee. Book sale proceeds support Angels Kids Fund and Donate Life Wisconsin. The preceding program was made possible by a generous contribution from Terry Bond.